Notable albums 1995, extreme metal. If you just want music, head to the end of the video, there'll be a playlist here somewhere. And I have friends online and offline that recommend me stuff which will be added to the playlist all the time. But please do comment below if I've missed something notable. If I like it enough, I'll add it to the playlist, and if not, it'll be in the comments for all time. Okay, let's get started on the CDs I have in my collection. I'm going to start off with something that is not extreme metal, but is their heaviest release, and therefore their best, which is Motorhead Sacrifice. Like I said, it's easily the most metal or heaviest album, whatever you want to say, and I don't always enjoy Motorhead, but I do really enjoy this album. And Lemmy even gets up to a bit of a philosophizing about sex and death being the answer to life's mysteries. So, good album. Next up, a bit of Anathema. So we're going with the Silent Enigma, a band which diverged hugely from the metal sound as time went on. There was a bit of few droplets in there. I don't know how they got it in there. I'll clean that off a minute. You can see these, right? Yeah, it's not bad. Okay. Anyway, Anathema. Yeah, they've diverged hugely in their later days into I don't know, really sort of soft, sad rock, something like that. Sad rock. I don't know, but yeah, I actually really enjoyed what they turned into as well as the early stuff. But yeah, this is still death doom, even though it's got a lot of the sort of melancholy which they later perfected. But yeah, definitely check this album out if you like sort of My Dying Bride and all that sort of thing. Well worth checking out. The Silent Enigma. Next up, a rather sorry looking down album. This came out in '95. Sort of stoner metal supergroup with members of Pantera, Crowbar, Corrosion of Conformity and whatnot, but yeah, it stands the test of time. I really like the first two Down albums. After that, I'm not bothered, but yeah, I still really enjoy the first two Down albums. They're great piece of music. And we get on to Devin Townsend's heaviest project he was ever involved in, as far as I know, which is Strapping Young Lad. This is a great sort of start off or kick off. Obviously they went on to do much better stuff, but it's still a really cool album. I can listen to his later stuff, but I definitely prefer Strapping Young Lad quite easily. It's a lot more sort of driven and metal focused in my opinion anyway. So let's get on to a bit of black metal, shall we? Melodic black metal at probably its finest. We've got Dissection, Storm of the Lights, Blaine. It's an all-time classic of the genre. Yeah, pretty much melodic black metal don't get any better than this. So yeah, 1995. Night 4 we had Transylvania Hunger. Night 5 we shall have some Panzerchrist from Dark Throne. Still remnants of Transylvanian Hunger sound, but it's getting rawer. Like the vocals, especially on this, are like quite high in the mix. And we've obviously got very primitive production, but it works really well. A great follow-up, and not so much of a one-trick pony as Transylvanian Hunger. So really cool black metal. And then we go to some more, another band which completely, like Anathema, completely diverged away from the metal sound. But back in the day, Ulver did put out some very fine black metal. This is probably one of their most notable releases when they were a black metal band. Let's have a look through here. We've got a nice frilly shirt there. In a Norwegian forest, so yeah, definitely a true black metal band at this point, and put out some very fine black metal indeed. Later stuff I'm a bit hit or miss with. I like some of it not so much. Right, solid death metal, released from 1995. Cannot go wrong with Sinister Hate. Very fine death metal album. Straightforward, blasting, guttural, you know what you're getting, and yeah, just really decent album from 95. Ad, who started out on drums, I'm pretty sure he's now the sole surviving member and keeps the band going, but yeah, back in 1995, they were putting out some great stuff. I mean, all their albums, a bit like Vader or Cannibal Corpse, all their albums are good, some better than others. This is a cracking one. Next up, one of the best bands that Britain ever produced, in my opinion, one of the best metal bands anyway, which is Balsagoth. And here we have A Black Moon Broods Over Lemuria. I think I'm saying that right. Yes, and the reason why I think they're one of the best bands is because they have amazing songwriting, amazing musicianship, and amazing band photos as well. Can't forget that. They are in 95 with their swords. But yeah, this release is still a little bit more death metal-y. Later on, would definitely change to more of a black metal or symphonic sound. But yeah, just a fantastic band. It's one of the best Britain ever produced, in my humble opinion. Balsagoth. Ooh, next up we're going to get into a bit of controversy. So like I said, Malevolent Creation are one of my all-time favourite bands. Here's their album Eternal. Brett Hoffman had departed by this point, and Jason, I can't remember, bass player from earlier times, took over vocal duties. And although he's very one-dimensional in his death metal style, he does a very good job, I have to say. There's some great death metal songs on here. Blood Brothers is a classic. And also to bring up the sort of controversial topic about this album, which is the name Eternal was very fitting because there is an eternal stain on their discography and reputation on this album. Apparently, some African-American gentlemen broke into their practice place or whatever and stole some of their musical equipment, so they decided to take it out on them on the next album. So on the song They Breed, the last word is the N-word, which is bullshit, really. There's no excuse for it. It's just a bit lame, really. And they didn't print in the lyrics either. It's just a bit cowardly, in my opinion. It's a shame, and it's an eternal stain, but it's not going to let me stop enjoying the otherwise a very, very fine death metal release. The way I look at it is, if I can look at albums about butchering babies and not go out and butcher babies, I can listen to an album with a unfortunate racial slur on it and not go out and use racial slurs. It's a shame. It's an eternal stain on the Malevolent Creation name, but otherwise a very, very good death metal album. Then we're going to get on to another very, very good death metal album, which is Deicide, Once Upon a Cross. So legend has it that this album was recorded, but it was too quick, so they had to re-record it because they only had 9 songs, and to make it into a full length rather than an EP. And you'll notice when they play songs from Once Upon a Cross, they do play them a lot faster when they play them live. That's legend anyway, as far as I know. So yeah, some Glenn and Co. looking very scary there, and again very mean on the back cover. Still great songs from Deicide on this record. The difference between this and Legion is a huge difference, really. I mean, Legion was like just, I don't even know where it came from, whereas this is a lot more refined. The songs are a lot more sort of structured. But yeah, still a really, really good album. Loads of memorable songs on there. And of course, their one and only theme is still running strong. Next up, we're going to get to an album with some very classic 90s artwork on it. We're going with Broken Hope, Repulsive Conception. What's the first track called? Dilation Extraction. It's got that riff. Just a classic riff. So memorable. It's not as good as Bowels of Repugnance, I don't think, but it is really cool. It's just a really decent 90s death metal album. Again, Joe's vocals are some of the best. Got some cool band photos there in snow and whatnot. But yeah, for 90s death metal, it's just really cool, solid. It's not super fast or tech or anything like that, but it's just really heavy and groovy and decent. And speaking of heavy and groovy, we've got members of Obituary and Cannibal Corpse coming together to form 6 Feet Under. So we've got Haunted, which is the first release from 6 Feet Under. I still really like old 6 Feet Under. I get why some people don't, but that's cool, whatever. I like the slower, sort of groovier side of it. It works well for me. Really enjoyed all the releases up until sort of the 2010s, I want to say the mid 2010s, something like that. But yeah, 6 Feet Under, Haunted, really cool. You can definitely hear the Obituary riffs coming in, and Barnes is continuing the evolution of his voice from the bleeding, where you can like hear more of the pronunciation stuff. Started off as a side project that became his main project after he was booted out of Cannibal Corpse. Like I said, I still really like 6 Feet Under. I don't give a shit if other people don't. That's up to them. It's all cool. Okay, so I guess that's number 3 of my top 10, although one album I don't have, which is Suffocation Pierced From Within. That would definitely be in my top 3 if I had it on CD, but I don't. Okay, so we got a bit of Kraukan, I think that's how you pronounce it, Kraukan, which is Islands, and one of the, well, I suppose one of the most maybe well-known bands to come out of Ireland, and also the first band to ever term the phrase folk metal, I believe. So this is their 95 release, and this is probably one of my favourites from them because it's still got that raw black metal elements to it, as well as the folky side of it. Later on, Keith, who's the main chap behind it, he would clean up the sound a lot. I mean, a lot of the later albums are more, some of them are quite rocky rather than metal, but this album definitely has the black metal thing going on as well as the folk metal. So it's a really cool album. I really like this album. I haven't listened to this one actually, so I shall do that after this video. And lastly, which I suppose is my favourite album, 95, it's the first one I ever heard from them, and that's why it's my favourite. We're going with Death Symbolic. So I believe it was Individual Thought Patterns before this one, but now they're adding a lot more sort of melody and song structures. It's not quite so technical, although, you know, Individual Thought Patterns still has a lot of memorable bits. But, you know, it's got some of their, you know, Thousand Eyes or Crystal Mountain, or, you know, basically there's a lot of their most well-known songs on this album. Yeah, it's the first Death album I ever heard. That's why it sticks with me. It just, you know, and it's an absolutely fantastic album. So yeah, can't go wrong really. I believe, I mean, it's got Chuck, Gene, Kelly, and Bobby. Just a great lineup, great songwriting. Just an all-round amazing album. I don't really need to say much more about it than that, really. Yep, there's some all-time classics on there. So I know Suffocation's one I missed, but if there's any others, please put them in the comments below. I've got friends online and offline who recommend me stuff, and if I like them enough, I put it in the playlist, and if not, it'll be in the comments forever. So cool, that's 95 done. I've really enjoyed doing this, and it's helping me sort out my CD collection as well. So I'll see you next week sometime for 1996. Cool, cheers.